revise what took place in the 1980s. In 1980, and of course, in a parliamentary democracy, you don't vote. So if somebody wants to do the figures, you include all the voters in Lago for those figures, could be 1 million, whatever. And it will be clear, UPC won the 1980 elections. So we can't have it two ways, saying that, oh, UPC didn't win. Because another issue we can go to is the 1961 election. In the most populous area, people are being elected with 800 votes because of a very successful boycott. UPC losing that election won the popular vote by far, but used political means to address the question. So when we have elections, and interpreting what happened in those elections is very important. What happened in 1980, Lago voted before the election, wholeheartedly for UPC. And if you ask today, there are those, I would say, pretending to be the voices of the people of Lago. But honestly, I went into this election, one hand tied around my back, my feet tied together, and had a boot on my neck. But despite having all of that, I emerged with 12 MPs. Albeit all of them from Lago. This should explain the whole issue of what happened in 1980, all people trying to interpret it. The most important thing to me when you understand an election are those who say, for example, Samogere won. What was Samogere's agenda for Uganda? Those who have claimed election 80 and the like, what was their agenda for Uganda? The UPC agenda, I can present it clearly, back to front, top to bottom. What about these other people who say they won elections? The ones who want to speak for the people of Lago, the ones who want to speak for the people of Uganda, what was their agenda? In this election, Jimmy AKENNA UPC came in with an idea that we can create an environment whereby we have to talk by default. But that meant securing enough votes to become a significant player. And when I made that issue work, when I was reaching that point, I cannot reach there without an agenda. I must have a clear agenda. I cannot stand in front of the country and have nothing to say. I must come with an agenda. So I'm part of this issue of correcting the history of UPC, but I am saying clearly what was UPC's program today for 2026 going forward. The reason I have approached it this way is that one of my ideas which came in our manifesto, and because I felt this idea was extra important, that it would benefit the people of Uganda in ways which can continue for a long time. And not being in government, I felt it important that I share this idea. So I shared the idea with the powers that be. I was only surprised last week, a letter from the president, one of these blue letters, allocating land. That was not the intention. The intention on the Jimmy AKENNA plan was how to access markets and solve a problem which was there. They love the idea of solving the problem, but now on the question of markets, they're just looking at where do we benefit. Jimmy AKENNA's plan for UPC included Barara Airport, yes. But we also had Gulu, we had Arua, we had Soroti, we had Entebbe, even Nakasongola to pitch in because we need to supply a huge market like China. Am I annoyed? I am annoyed because I was not on the ballot. I'm annoyed because I was not given the opportunity to present ideas and plans which can raise the standard of people of the citizens of Uganda. This has disturbed me. Another disturbing issue which took place last week, I think it was last week, when he wrote his letter. And his letter, he mentions apologies for shortages of drugs. Honestly, shortages of drugs. What drugs are we talking about? When you have somebody who is on high blood pressure medicine, when you don't have your drugs, what risk are you putting the people to? I come from the train of thought that the people of Uganda are the greatest asset. Our duties as leaders is to make sure we provide avenues where the people's lives are secure. If you're securing anything or protecting anything, protect the lives of the citizens of Uganda. What happens when somebody doesn't have medicine? And the whole thing defeats purpose. The UPC program, the UPC plan, which we put in this manifesto, touch on the history. You meet their safety regulations. We can also export a lot of things to EU because we don't have the product. So, Mr. President, when you get an idea, listen to the people who also created that idea. Can you imagine that while I was going through this unfair, military-dominated election, I still had the presence of mind to think what would benefit Uganda. And I share an idea which should stand the test of time. Implementation, different issue. I can go further this issue that history, when DP was in government with NRA, what policies did they bring? They failed to bring policies. The policies which ended up on policies of UPC, I will stand by that one. The Rehabilitation and Development Plan and the UPC Recovery Program, plagiarization without a concern. So, as we are now heading towards the LC1 and LC2 elections, which UPC intends to participate fully, but we raise the concern, the level we have been treated, the funding of iPod, which was supposed to be for parties, has been treated like somebody's personal purse. Mr. President said it was unchristian. We are now going to 6 years later. Is this still unchristian? Oh, this is being one. Last time I called it satanic. This is the context where we're going into the LC1, LC2 elections. We are going to go there and do our best, but we need to do the best for the people of Uganda and democracy in Uganda. And when I talk about democracy, how do we now get into this issue if we don't have avenues to express ourselves politically, to disagree politically? Then now we even come to prayers. Prayers. If we call for prayers for people who are incarcerated, what does the law say even on treason? How long can it be in remand? I used to remember something about 180 days. How long has kids been in remand? Oh, whatever incarceration is called. We must have some bankable policies. Bankable policies. The fact that one of them is proof. How many players have come with bankable ideas? How many bankable policies have been there? It's not in the NDP, it's not in the NRA manifesto, but it's in the UPC manifesto. For the sake of Uganda. Because I am very interested to know who ordered the boots to be in leader and the boot which was on my neck during the election. The only person I can get that from is for the president. These people who are hanging around the president saying he should talk to some of us. He can choose not to talk to some of us. But I'll talk to him through you in the media. Up to tomorrow, I will insist what was done to me was wrong. It was wrong. But it did not stop me from engaging. It did not stop me from putting my best foot forward for the people of Uganda. Can we say the same on the team of NRA? On other political players who want to provoke others into a situation where they can now descend and pulverize people? I'm not somebody who went for that debate. I will not go for that debate. But the conversation which we must have must be where the people of Uganda benefit. I've been insisting that at the end of the election we should be celebrating as a people. You call it free and fair, I don't. I'll use another word, but the word may not be broadcast quality. But the male version of Kauda was what this election was. Thank you. I'll take questions now. Yes.
My name is Gerald.
Yes.
We would love to know from you about the upcoming LC1 chairman elections. How are you prepared for this? What is your take about this program that is coming up?
Like I said, we are going to participate as best we can with what we have. I have raised the concern that even resources which were agreed properly across board, cleared and passed, we have not received at the High Court. So I'm raising that concern. If I try to break it down, how much NRM spent in this last election, this money for the villages, I don't know for whatever, billions. And yet the other political players, they try, even the little you're due, they're trying always to block it, which they did. Yes, we still went into the election, we might be 12. And now because we might be 12 people pretending to be, they're the masters of the game. Honestly, had I been on the ballot, had I not been frustrated, had the party not been frustrated, we would definitely perform far better than we did. So our strength is not reflected in the actual election results. We are much stronger position. And those in authority, or those who created this unrealistic or unreal situation should understand and should treat it on that basis. Because it's the truth. But we need leadership. We need leadership which is accountable. One issue which I object to this issue of queuing, they should actually do everything possible and let us have voting. This machine which we spend so much money on, which failed work for the presidential, let them work for LC1. We spend the money on the machine. Don't want them to sit there and get but to run. Let them work for LC1 election. Yes. No, they didn't consult me, and I will not use the adjective of leaders. Yes, leaders in some level, but they didn't go there in any leadership capacity. Some were leaders appointed, but nobody with elected authority has gone to meet the president and discuss anything concerning UPC to the best of my knowledge. I definitely saw them. If I didn't send them, they went for who? They went for who? When we were fighting these elections, we were all there. Did you see any of those leaders campaigning for UPC candidates? Defending their results? Struggling for them, supporting them? After election, they're there now. Where were you? When when we were in labor, you are not there. When the child was being born, you are not there. Now the child is graduating. Oh, you want now to accolades? No. I have raised what we have. I have raised every political battle. I have been there. Every election, I have been there. Those who want to pretend to be leaders, please go to the ground, demonstrate your leadership. Come with something. Come with something to the table. But those who went there do not represent anyone, or do not represent at least the thought or where I come from. They do not represent the political party which has stood by the people. They are not representing the political party which has worked and came with solutions which work for the people of Uganda. Today, there is no health structure which has been done which can compete with that UPCD. From the time I've been in Parliament, Dr. Malinga was Minister of Health. We've been rehabilitating the hospitals of Waterville. We have not finished. I've been in Parliament 20 years. We cannot rehabilitate Waterville in 5 years. In the second 5 years, within 5 years, those hospitals were built. It has taken us how many years to rehabilitate? The person who's now attacking me, Minister of Health, the President in his letter writes that, oh, I apologize for drug shortages. And you can stand there boldly, drug shortages. People are dying because of lack of drugs. What do you expect the villager to do? You go to the hospital, you need a drug, it's not there. Can they create the drug? Can they make the drug? Can they deliver the drug? They can't. Who's supposed to do that one? The responsible government, or if the government cares for the people, that's what they're supposed to do. As UPC, I presented a manifesto which could compete with what UPC did in the 60s.
We want to let to know, because this is not the first time for some of the UPC groups to meet the president, and then they pledge to what we did. Even in the completed elections, we saw a group of MPs from UPC who said for them they were to vote for the president. Do you have some measures we take to such?
In the course of discussions, we toned down when it became very apparent I will not be on the ballot. I repeat what I said earlier. I wanted to be on the ballot. I still believe I should have been on the ballot because I had something which I brought to the table. And to be on the ballot, the cost was not simple. So these people are going and they're talking for what? They're talking for who? UPC, as I mentioned, is about the people. If the people are not being served, we have failed. Same last week, I was reading, and I also saw it covered on various news media. Several of the public universities are understaffed. As UPC, I am shocked. I'm disappointed. Your greatest asset is the people. The higher institutions are sharpening your greatest asset, that they'll be able to contribute more to the society. And we're still living around after 40 years in power, understaffed. And those kids coming up are going to be competing with a kid from China. We saw it during COVID. The world shrank. People are able to do things online. And we're not preparing our children for tomorrow. And we expect to compete. Our education system, does it make our children productive? You know, kids are going into primary one. Majority of them are going to remain in the village. But what have you taught them of how to remain in the village? How productive are they going to be? They're half-baked in English, half-baked in maths, and they cannot farm. Who's failing who? That's the conversation I want. As UPC, let's talk about what will affect people's lives. People who labor, who struggle, but the interest rates are not working for them. That's what you talk about. At least if you have that conversation, those are the things I talk about. On this issue, the opening, the blue letter which came, I have to talk about it because that is a genuine idea. And how many times do you get a genuine idea which strikes and resonates and is able to be adopted rapidly as a national policy? That is somebody who has taken time to prepare, to organize. And you're being treated like some sort of, I don't know what. I really want to know who ordered those boots on my neck. We talk about cooperation, but there are things which, if the president is wrong, what am I supposed to do? Or if I believe I have a better idea than the president on a particular issue, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, yes, Mr. President, you're right? I'm not that person. When it comes to Uganda, the people of Uganda, I can respectfully tell you, sorry, Mr. President, here you're wrong. But I have to tell you when you're wrong. I have to tell you when things are going wrong. What has been done to some of us, what has been done in the name of democracy, what is being done on handling many of these issues does not go well. Avenues where people could talk, iPod, what has happened? Years we sit, we cannot meet. We want to build this angle for what? Are we not all Ugandans? Or it is only just some people who care about Uganda and others who are just supposed to be spectators? If that's the case, I'll still talk. I'll talk. When it's unpalatable, I will push it. And that's what I've done. Whatever the consequences, I will put it forward. Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Edward. Some of you MPs that speak among for speaker next part.
We have not discussed that. I have met the MPs elect and I was trying to guide them. Most of the issues that's guiding them is to be aware of many of these loans which are going to be coming your way. So I was trying to protect their longer term interests. But no, as UPC, we have not endorsed the current speaker. So whoever is speaking, that one is speaking on their own terms. We will pronounce ourselves, but I really hope that Uganda can get, this is wishful thinking, but Uganda can get a parliament with a speaker who understands the role and the importance of the speaker of the parliament of the National Assembly of Uganda. Where there's an opportunity where the citizens of Uganda should have their voices heard. Their concerns should be dealt with. But unfortunately, of recent times, we've had many members of parliament and leaders in parliament who are there as self-seekers, out to grab for themselves. No concern about the citizens who are suffering day and night. So my prayer is for Uganda, which works for all citizens of Uganda, including in the office of Speaker.
Mr. President, you have hinted a little bit about it. On Monday, we were supposed to have prayers for the prisoners and whatever, but that service was stopped. They say the president stopped that service. But we have been seeing that church and the religious leaders have been always the last avenue where people could go and pour out their grievances and maybe asking God to help them. But this time it was stopped. What is your take about this?
If we cannot pray, what do you want us to do? I have been provoked. I have been pushed to the wall. Like I said, there was a boot on my neck in the election. I didn't expect that. I didn't deserve that. People died. People have been cut up, others died. On something which we don't understand. Mine is a policy issue, and I said I'm coming to this election with policies. Up to tomorrow, you can look at my manifesto, I will defend it. And you can check the maths behind everything I put in the manifesto. The maths was mathing, as they say. This idea which the president has run with, it is a clear example where the maths was mathing. I was not there just for showcase or just to be there or to think that I should be president because my father was president. No, I came with ideas for the people of Uganda, well thought out, well structured to make a difference. I didn't expect to win, but I expected my voice to be heard. Hence, to try and create that avenue whereby we'll be forced into a second round. Now, in the second round, my voice will be amplified, and that's why I could bring issues which will help the people of Uganda. The health services which will be able to work for the people of Uganda. Agricultural policy which will be able to upraise the standard of living. The issue of interest rates which people are burdened with. Those who even struggle to make ends meet. Somebody doing a small business paying high interest rates just to be able to survive. Those are issues we should be debating. That's what I wanted on the table. That's what I put in the manifesto. And that's what I want to defend. Instead, they want me to be talking about things I don't know, things I don't understand, things I'm never part of. So, it's wrong. What is happening is wrong. When we cannot pray, where do we go? They really want us to go out on the street so that they can land on us. But people said, no, let us pray. I've decided I'm also going to talk. Whether you want it or not, I'll talk. I'll be as simple as I can, but bring my points across. UPC did not come into this election to tear anything down. It was to build, to raise the standard of people living on the people of Uganda, citizens of Uganda. And I challenge everyone, look at my manifesto, check the maths, check the ideas. Well, the idea is useless. But when you run with my idea, obviously the idea was not useless. It was a great idea. It was a worthwhile idea. It was a backable idea. That's what I brought to the point. That's what I brought to the table. And I think we deserve the respect for doing so. We seem to be satisfied. Thank you. And we wish you a pleasant day.